good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Around the World with ALTOUR. I am Scott Davis, Senior Vice President of ALTOUR, and my guest today is Sean Tubman, Senior VP of Sales for Regent 7 Seas. Sean, thank you. Welcome.
Hey, Scott. Great to be with you.
Well, thank you. Listen, our guest would really like to know, tell us more about Regent 7 Seas and what best described your Regent guest.
Sure, I'd love to tell you about my company and our guests. You know, company-wise, we are a leader in the luxury cruise space. We're just celebrating our 30th anniversary this year, so we're very excited about that. We are part of NCLH, which is a publicly traded company on the New York Stock Exchange, which has our sister companies, Norwegian Cruise Line and Oceania Cruises. We have a fleet of 5 mid-sized ships, roughly around the 700 guests range. And we really think that's the sweet spot for cruising because our ships are large enough to have really great facilities, accommodations, and so forth, but small enough to be intimate without really a lot of crowds. You know, our accommodations are all suites. They're beautifully appointed. We have the largest balconies at sea. We probably have the largest walk-in closets at sea as well, which is a real value to our guests who travel a lot and are always looking for extra space for all their clothes and their goods and so forth. And we do a lot of longer cruises, so that really comes in handy. We do a lot of longer cruises. We actually start from 7 nights and go up to our world cruise, which is about 150 nights and everything in between. The average may be 10 to 25 nights. We go everywhere in the world, and our tagline is unrivaled experience. And it's really not just a tagline. It's what we are and what we try to provide for our guests. We want them to always remember the experience on us. And, you know, we have the best ships and the best cuisine, the best service and so forth. But what really brings it all together is our crew. They're so warm and caring. And you combine that with the ship side and the shore side experience, and it's just a winning combination. And after a while, our guests become family with our crew. And it was really evident during the pandemic when they stayed in touch themselves directly, the whole pandemic, finding out about how they're doing and what they're doing and which ship are they going to be on when they get back. And so it was really cool when we came back to service. It was just a love fest between our guests. So there is no real single profiler for our guests. Most have a pretty well-rounded net worth. They're typically, our average age is in the 60s, mostly retired. Not many still have the kids living at the house. So they really have the time to travel and experience the world. They're very well-traveled, well-educated, fun to be with, very interesting to travel with. And so that's why our guests come back time and time again with us. We still have a lot of younger cruisers too, depending on the itinerary. If you do Alaska and the Mediterranean and some Caribbean, we see younger cruisers also with us. Most of them are still working full time. They either own their own business or executive level at corporations and so forth. But it really is a variety of guests on board the ship. But again, all well-traveled, all very interesting.
Tell us about what the crew to guest ratio is.
Our crew to guest ratios average about 1.4 to 1. So you've got almost 1-to-1 service, almost 1 crew member for every guest on board the ship. I mean, that's how much service there is. And it's customized service. We really get to know our guests and what they want. We ask them what they want and we listen. And we strive to provide everything that really makes for a fantastic vacation.
Well, and Regent offers a lot to their guests. I mean, the air, the hotel, the shore excursions, the gratuities, specialty dining. What's not included?
It's easier, right, to say what's not included, right? Let's see, the spa, the gift shop, and the casino are pretty much the only things that are not included on the cruise. And quite frankly, if we included them, we'd probably go broke, right? You know, there's a lot of recreational gambling as well, you know, to really, we have the time and our croupiers have the patience to teach people. Go to Las Vegas, it's pretty cutthroat out there. They're not really there to teach you how to gamble, but but our staff do.
Exactly. Now, laundry. Is laundry included for every guest?
I'll tell you, it's the newest thing that we included, and it kind of sounds silly, but it's what our guests have been asking for. And it's been probably the most popular inclusion that we've had. I mean, you get your clothes whenever you want them, washed, pressed, folded, and delivered back to your stateroom for free. It's a fantastic service, especially when you've come from, maybe you were in the destination before you get on the cruise and you have some laundry coming on the ship, or you're cruising for a longer length of time. So, we do really include most everything. And I think if you looked at the industry, we are the most inclusive luxury line. And a lot of people say all inclusive, but there is a big difference between some of our competition and ourselves as far as what they include. And if you just looked at a magazine and you see an ad, it says all inclusive, all inclusive, all inclusive. But we really do. Not many people include the airfare, and we include business class air for all intercontinental destinations. We include all the excursions, free, unlimited excursions. So it's really immersive, that you can do as much as you want. If you're in a port 12 hours, you could take 3 different excursions, not just a city tour that's included. So we really try to think of everything that people need while they're cruising. So all the alternative dining and all the premium beverages and open bars and refrigerators in the suites fully stocked with, you tell us what you want in there. You tell us your favorite type of whiskey and it'll be in your suite, that kind of service. So what it does is it really allows our guests to customize how they cruise, how they experience the destination. So how they get to the destination in the cruise, how they do the cruise, and then when they're in port, how they really see that port. And we offer so many different ways to do that.
The shore excursions, I do know they sell out. However, what I did find, once you're on board, if you go to the shore excursion desk, a lot of times they'll put you on a wait list, and I don't think I got turned down for anything.
I'm so glad you brought that up, because that is very important. And a lot of times, maybe they booked a little closer in and things are not available and they're stressing out that they really wanted to do this excursion. But 9 times out of 10, when you're on board, it does open up like that. And it's because of this inclusive nature, right? If you were locked into that tour and you met a couple, maybe the next day you want to go with them and do their excursion, but you don't want to, you're going to get hit with a cancellation fee, right? And you're out of your money. So on our ships, it doesn't matter. You can just cancel and switch to their tour the next day. So that really frees up everything on board.
Well, I was very impressed, because right now we're in very challenging times. And I know Regent's adapting to the challenging times. I'm going to ask you to expand on that. But also, because of what is going on, you drop a lot of the Baltic, Russia ports and redo the whole itineraries. Tell us the challenges you had this year. I think it'll be very interesting to hear.
Yes, it has been a challenging 3 years. 22 is, let's just say it's a transition year. But we've had to make quite a few changes. As far as the Northern Europe, we did have to drop St. Petersburg, and that was a very popular destination for that itinerary. But with every problem comes opportunities, and we already shifted a lot of the itineraries for Northern Europe next year to include more of Iceland, which is probably one of the hottest destinations right now. Greenland, the Faroe Islands, the Norwegian fjords. So these are really cool itineraries now. And so, yes, St. Petersburg is a thing of the past for the foreseeable future, but there are other opportunities. And we may do some, overnight opportunities to be able to go down and experience Berlin, for example. Fantastic city, so interesting, and not usually available for, an overnight package. So there are some great opportunities there.
Let's talk a little bit about the destinations in 23, 24. I do know that your world cruise sold out in record time. But tell us about the Grand Voyages and the world cruise.
Well, I'll tell you, the demand is incredible for 23, 24, 25. And it's just amazing the pent-up demand, because our guests have lost a few good travel years, and none of us want to lose travel years, right? When we're really healthy and we feel great traveling and so forth. So our guests are making up for lost time. They're lining up cruises. So if they cruised once a year in the past, they now have 2 or 3 cruises booked each year for the foreseeable future, because they really like having these great adventures lined up, and they look forward to that at this point. And a lot of new to Regent guests who really cruised with contemporary lines, and then they moved up to premium lines like Celebrity and Holland and Princess Viking. And now they're really making that step up to luxury, because they haven't spent money in the last few years, and they're treating themselves, to something different. They've always heard about luxury cruises, but they always thought the price was so much higher. But when you look at the price differential on a total spend basis, when you add up all those extra things that you buy when you go on regular cruises versus luxury, it's not that far off. And so there is no nickel and diming on board the ship, no decisions you have to make. Oh boy, I'm sitting with a group of 12 people here in the lounge. Who's going to pick up the tab here next, right? There's none of that on board the ship. And like we talked about the excursions, you can just cancel an excursion and rebook on board the ship. There's no consequence to any of that kind of stuff. So we've seen a lot of new to Regent guests, and they're celebrating milestones. What we've also seen are longer cruises. People really are booking longer cruises and bucket list cruises. We introduced our Grand Voyages a few years ago because our world cruises have always been so popular. And because of that demand, we introduced longer cruises, but not quite that long. So cruises from 60 to 90 days in all different areas of the world. And they really get in depth in the Pacific, Europe, or Africa, and have been really popular.
Well, I do know you're bringing out the Regent 7 Seas, Grandeur, and I know it's going to add about 20% more capacity to the Regent fleet. And I think I read somewhere where you have one of your suites is 4,400 square feet. That's bigger than my house. Tell us more about the Grandeur. Everybody's very excited about it.
Yes. Yeah, we're so excited. Yeah, it's coming out next year in the fall of 2023. And it's a sister ship to our Explorer class, which has been basically every 3 years we're introducing a new ship. We don't want to do it every year because it's too much capacity, and we want to have a nice controlled growth. So we had the Explorer 6 years ago, the Splendor 3 years ago, and now, or 2 years now, and then one more year we'll have the Grandeur. And they just, as you saw in the Splendor, I mean, it really, you've been on many, many ships, and there's a difference there. I mean, it really set the standard higher, the bar higher for luxury cruising, both in the facilities and the layout and the construction of the ship, the spaciousness. I mean, you think you're walking through a luxury hotel with the height of the ceilings and the width of the hallways, just the whole look and feel of that ship. And that's what we call the Grandeur luxury perfected, because now it's the third sister ship, and we've listened, and there's always little things that you wish you had done different, right? And this thing really has every one of those T's crossed and the I's dotted. So we're really excited about that. And again, they're all suites, and we have many, many large suites. But the Regent suite is what you're talking about. It's 4,400 square feet. It's 2 bedrooms, 2.5 baths. And it's in the front of the ship over the bridge. So it's got wraparound views. Wow. And there's no view like it, really, even better than the bridge, because you're up a little bit higher on top. Got its own spa in suite. So you have your own spa, and you have unlimited spa treatments while you're cruising. The mattress in the bed is a $200,000 Swedish mattress. It is, you'll never want to get out of bed. Now, we want you to get out and experience the ship and the destination, but you really won't want to get out of bed on that. But it's just over the top. It is fantastic. And but all our suites are gorgeous and very, very, very large.
The one area we didn't talk about is entertainment. Why don't you tell us about the entertainment, the lecturers, and I think that our guests would like to hear that.
You know, our lecture series, the enrichment, it's really what it's all about on board. Our guests, again, very worldly, very well educated, very interested what's going on in the world. And so we have fantastic speakers on all our cruises, and not just, enrichment and lectures, but also the nighttime entertainment is far and above what it used to be. If you think about luxury cruises in the past, they really never focused on entertainment. It was always just about the food and the service, really. Today's luxury ships really are outfitted for fantastic stage shows, and we produce them. And so we've really benefited from our sister company, Norwegian Cruise Line, because they're really big into shows and entertainment. They have their own facility in Tampa where they produce shows, they train their dancers, they rehearse for months and months before they come on the ship. The days of having just a magician and a juggler are over. It's a whole new day, and it's just really, really popular.
Well, you also have many lounges, and I remember pre-dinner cocktails up in one of the lounges with a piano player. You also, but you don't want that. You could go downstairs to another lounge that had a duet. So there's multiple areas to go to, and music was very important on the ship. High tea.
Isn't it a fantastic experience, just sitting in the lounge, listening to a fantastic pianist, having your cocktails, overlooking the ocean, and there's just nothing like it. It's so peaceful, so calm, so inviting, right?
It's something I can never get over. And I've been in this industry over 50 years. I still get excited to go on a cruise ship. Just being at sea is just so exciting. The other thing I want to bring up is ALTOUR has a very good relationship with Regent. And for those of you who are listening to Around the World ALTOUR, know that we have ALTOUR, Milne Travel, the Travel Authority, Platinum Travel, and ALTOUR American Express that all fall under our brands. We have specials with Regent. So all you have to do is reach out to your ALTOUR brand agent, and they can tell you what our current promotions are. If you don't have an ALTOUR agent, all you have to do is email leisure@altour.com, and we will get someone to reach out to you. Sean, is there anything you'd like to add before we close?
Well, Scott, I just always enjoy talking to you. We really do value our relationship with ALTOUR, and we work with lots of great agents in the country. But I'll tell you, your advisors are so experienced, so professional. They are a great resource. If somebody's not using one of your advisors, they're crazy, because it's nothing but an asset, really. And, it's easy in the good times, but what if there's an issue? What if there's a problem? What if there's a new development? You really need that advisor to help you through this whole thing, and also to plan the vacation, to really make sure you're in the right product at the right time, right, with the right crowd on board that you'll really enjoy. So you look at our atmosphere too. I think I forgot to mention that on our ships, it's country club casual. We're luxury, but we're not tuxedos and formal all the time. Our guests do not really want that. So we don't even have a requirement of jackets for the gentlemen, for example. Very nice, but not formal. And there's not, some lines do more of that. So it's important, again, for your advisor to understand what you like and what you've done before and what you're interested in, and match you with the right product. I can't say enough. We just love our relationship. We've always worked together. We've worked a long time together, and hopefully a long time in the future.
Well, Sean, I want to thank you again for taking the time today. I'm sure our guests found it very interesting, and hopefully I'll talk to you soon. So,
well,
Sean,
thank you.
Thank
you so much. It was great talking to you, Scott, and hopefully we'll see you on board.
Yeah, absolutely.